Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the left side is the blue Tasha, we got Dark. Spawn on the right side is the red Zhaotiantong, we got PeePeePooPoo. When it comes to COs, Zhaotiantong is a custom CO which has minus 90% boarding cost, which means you will get a 90% refund when boarding into a unit, making this CO unit very cheap, incredibly cheap, and very expendable. No CO zone, no radius, no max energy. That's his whole gimmick, is a cheap CO unit. Tasha is buff from the cartridge counterpart. She does have 50% boarding cost, 1 radius, 30, 60, 60. Does have a plus 10, all areas get plus 40% offense, plus 20% defense, and plus 2 movement. Yep, it is. And the plus 2 movement is the buff from the counterpart, where areas effectively get plus 50, plus 30%, making them hyper lethal and hyper quickly, particularly the CO unit. And you can see here, she can also make that global plus with 4 movement range rather than just plus 2. So her Air Force can be very aggressive. Either way, let's get started. Of course, custom CO has standard music, and Tasha does not. There's also a seaport in the corners for those who wish to deploy out a battleship or gunboat on this map. There's also another base and airport here, so we've got, looks like, double base, triple base here. This map is very wide, pretty open, so anti-airs can move around quite quickly. Aircraft, of course, always move quickly. Not too many forests. Additionally, there is a radar station here, which can be exposed by destroying the meteorite with indirect units. Which is more of a just okay thing, not going to be too particularly fantastic. And this map looks like red is just going straight bike. Actually, only has deployed out bikes, not a single infantry unit. Blue has deployed out 2 infantry units. Gonna capture some of those properties now. We have a battle copy course deployed out by Tasha. She's probably gonna load herself into it. Zhaotiantong could load himself up into a unit this turn. It's best for him to be loaded up in more expensive units and be hyper aggressive with it, because it will be a 10% cost unit. And it looks like he's actually deployed out an infantry. You never expect a turn 6 infantry deployment. Tasha's loaded herself up the battlecopter now. And we may see some conflicts down south relatively soon. Right now, Tasha has 15,000, Zhaotiantong has 15,000 as well. Those for a battlecopter will probably be CO'd into it. Anti-air, infantry, bike. Anti-air, tank, infantry. So we're going to see some anti-air and tanks now. Battlecopter pushed way forward, did CO'd into it, so this battlecopter's worth a staggering 900 funds. Tank there. got another tank, infantry tank. So got these numbered tanks by Tasha. And while Zhaotiantong has gone for a pair of tanks and pair of anti-air, trying to zone out the battlecopter. Puts the battlecopter in range of the battlecopter to get so it can be bait for the anti-air. Since it only costs 900 funds, it's definitely worth it. Tasha just may need to head up north, maybe pursue the battlecopter, and sometimes she just may need to fall back away from the battlecopter. And it looks like it does wall off that said battlecopter as well, when it could be a good bait. Interrupt some of these captures here, takes out that bike. We have anti-air battlecopter and infantry. Pulls back the command battlecopter. Tank pushing way forward. Of course, could see more tanks pushing way forward. Does charge for the command copter. Make good for some good bait. This tank here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if this battlecopter goes down, he should be able to range the anti-air with his tank. Not sure, can plus 70% firepower battlecopter take one shot that battlecopter? It's already slightly damaged, plus the bike can always finish off. Does nuke it there, and tank does get a good strike from the anti-air, very nice. Also sort of blocks around the anti-air, so it's going to have trouble hitting that battlecopter. Trying to flip some of these properties up here. Needs to get the battlecopter and tank up here, because it's got a good chain of tanks being pulled in the field. But this battlecopter is heading up north. Tank, artillery, battlecopter, infantry. Does interrupt the capture there. Takes the bike there as well. One thing simply not going to be enough. The battlecopter needs to get up there as soon as it can. Takes out that bike there. Finish it off now. Emerges there. But should be stopped capturing next turn. Finish off some of these outlying units. Tank pushed way forward. With another battlecopter up north. Got a reinforcing anti-air. Thus Tasha does fall back there. And more double battlecopter, double infantry, and a bike. So she's really starting to pump out those battlecopters. She has 21 energy at the moment. Good strike there. Tank, anti-air, battlecopter, tank. Takes out the battlecopter, finish off a regular infantry unit there, got the 38 energy. Should get a massive airstrike going. +4 movement range would be quite absurd. 3 capture progress remaining, so should be able to be captured. Tanks starting to fall back. Artillery there. I don't think artillery piece is going to be great at this map, honestly. There's just way too much open ground. Of course, I can more than be willing to be proven wrong, but I have a hard time seeing that artillery piece being useful. Another tank. Anti-air. Outlying forces falling back in range of the artillery piece. Finish off that one. Did stop the capture there. Battlecopter's getting some good shots. It looks like he's just going willing to risk going into the anti-air's range because there's just so many battlecopters. And now at full 60 energy for the CO power. In fact, her command copter is actually getting pretty low in fuel. Tank anti-air. Tasha will take some losses this turn. Right now the value pretty even, 119 versus 111. Tasha does have 3 battlecopters here that can be useful for the CO power. She can also just only move back slightly there, because with a 3 CO zone radius, she can park her command copter here, and we'll be able to push all these battlecopters to movement spaces forward, so she doesn't need the +4 move. I just get the +2. Of course, there's still a problem. There's double anti-air over here, so that's still going to be a bit of a problem for her. And pops a superpower there. Let's see how the battlecopter's going to do. One shots that battlecopter. Tank is normal. Finish off the anti-air. Takes the battlecopter. Gets a lot of good kills there. Finish off that tank there. Regular tank gets a good shot. Infantry unit may be able to machine gun down this one. It's down to 5 health. Anti-air tank. Machine guns down the tank. Of course, she does get also a decent amount of defense on all these units globally. Plus 30% defense is always quite nice on battlecopters. Gets a good shot there on the command copter. Tasha's copter does manage to fall back with 15 fuel remaining, plus there's always still another airport there for deployment of various aircrafts. Oh! I know what Tasha's doing. She's not gunning down the battlecopter. It's literally at 1% health. She's not gunning down because Zhaotiantong, if he manually deletes it or sack it, he can't redeploy it next turn. She wants it to be a bit of dead weight on Zhaotiantong's side. That's actually pretty smart. Right now, Tasha's at 123 value on the field. Zhaotiantong has 120 with his day-to-day. Good amount of anti-aircrafts on the field, that's for sure. Tasha may want to focus on getting more tanks in the field. Get some good kills. Another tank deploy on the field. Another tank. Another battlecopter and bike. Finish off some anti-airs, take out the tank. Battlecopter's falling back. Guns down that one unit there. Tank, anti-air tank. Takes out that one tank there, because good first strike on that one. It has efficiency 2. Good strike there on the bike. Of course, the artillery piece is in range, so it's actually going to get some decent value the next turn. You can hit on anti-air, an anti-air, or a Veg 2 tank. So right now, Blue's trying to disintegrate down south, and the command battlecopter does get hit there at 0 energy right now. And the artillery piece decides not to shoot this turn. There's also some of these outlying units. Looks like Tasha's overall just regrouping the center of the map. Tank, battlecopter, tank, infantry. There's another infantry unit there. Tank heading down south. Good shot there. Goes for another tank. Couple good kills there. Wounding all the tanks as well. Looks like Blue's seeing a lot of hits down south. Does go for another recon tank and battlecopter. Merges the command copter. And here heading up north. Lots of good picks over here. Does not take out this other battlecopter. Another battlecopter, tank, infantry. Command copter does take out those units. Anti-air. Does stop his own capture there. Both the spikes at 1 health, a lot of 1 health and low health units. A lot of low health units got 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1. And got a 4 full and 2. Let's get around that tank. There's another battlecopter there. Command copter one-shots the tank. Great shot there in the command copter and finished off with 2 health copter. Does interrupt the capture there with 1 health unit. Right now, Zhaotiantong has 26,000. Tasha only has 24. Tank heading down south, strikes that tank there, puts a good round into the anti-air. Tank. Finish off that one unit there. Because of that unit. And that one. Good around the anti-air. It's been quite a bit of a brawl this game. Both sides just keeping their wounded units just constantly slugging, getting great hits, even with little health. Tasha starts the turn with 83,000. Zhaotiantong ends the turn with 132. Finish off some of those outlying units. Anti-air takes out another battlecopter. Tank finish off that unit. Multiple units going down. Great strike there on the anti-air. Hits the bike as well. Right now Tasha's at 26 energy. And remember, Wastelands or Ruins have one defense star. They are and they have the same mobility as planes. They are not good terrain. They're just exactly the same as planes. Well, in fact, they also provide hiding, which is not a Fog of War game. So Zhaotiantong making a pretty good breakthrough over here, but the ATR can take out the battlecopter, and the battlecopter can ball take out the 9 health tank. And the tank can take out that 1 health anti-air. Finish off that tank there. Gets good first strike there on that tank. More tanks push forward. Blue's starting to stabilize in this region. Quite good took time to put some rounds to the 2 health anti-air. Looks like a bit of a merge there. Full vet, full health battlecopter there. Does finish off that anti-air. Looks like blue is really stabilizing. Right side has more value on the... no, the value is quite similar. It's just back down day-to-day differences. As the game goes on, the unit starts moving one side of the map, the other side of the map, reinforcements are simply just slower to get the front line. And this map is large, so it takes a very long time for reinforcements to push forward, not to mention the right type of reinforcement as well. This takes, what, 3-4 turns just to get to the other side of the opponent's map? Anti-air. Good shot. Just a lot of anti-airs that was pulled up by Zhaotiantong last turn. Getting some good kills. Getting some good hits there. Tasha now has her superpower available. Tank, battlecopter, bike. So next turn, all of our aircraft can move +4 movement range. Command copter gets a good strike there. Does not strike the anti-air. I guess Zhaotiantong's not really concerned about losing his command copter. It's only worth 900. This event of max veterancy anti-air, so should be able to take out the max vet battlecopter. Tank, battlecopter. Oh, quite a bit there. Double tank, double battlecopter, infantry. He has 27,000 funds. Pop superpower. So now all of her aircraft has +4 movement range and +50% firepower. Lots of good headway up there. Takes that battlecopter. Anti-air takes that one out. The max veterancy anti-air was useful. At this point, I think she may need to get out a T-cop to help capture some of these properties. Battlecopter, tank. Tank. Takes the max vet anti-air. Was good around that battlecopter as well. The extra defense was very useful there, and good amount of retaliation damage from +50% firepower. Interrupts the capture there, very nice. More tanks push forward, bike as well. Manacopter pushing her way forward once again. Another battle copter. Good strike there. Infantry tank. Lots of good hit kills there. Just need to knock out those anti-airs, and then we'll have more rain down south with our battle copters. I think they knocked out one there. Gets a good bite onto that one. Knocks out that tank there. Anti-air onto anti-air. I wonder. Go back a couple turns. Okay, even with the firepower bonus benefits, it doesn't really get good damage versus anti-airs. Maybe in previous Advanced Wars game, but not in Days of Ruin. So these units falling back. Battlecopter needs both healing, repaired, and resupply. 1 ammo remaining. No, I like Advanced Wars Days of Ruin better than Dual Strike or by Web overall. Good shot there onto the infantry unit. Another tank deployed on the field. Takes out the battlecopter. It looks like Blue has pretty good graphs down south. Right now, the values are quite similar, just back down the day-to-day differences, but though Zhaotiantong has a slight advantage, but only ever so slight. Takes out the anti-air there. Infantry does fall back. Good strike there on the command copter. Tank, bike, battlecopter, bike. Got more tanks and anti-air for red. Good rounds onto the helicopter. This is at full efficiency, so keeping that thing alive is quite nice. But it is now down. Good strike there on the bike. Another tank. Tank. Battlecopter. The extra income's been very good, and also possible another flip there, but will be interrupted there and stopped. Duster finished off the battlecopter. Finished off that tank there. And decides to keep the command copter alive because it's at 2 health. It's effectively dead weight. Takes out the tank down south. Battlecopter tank. Good shots there. Finish off the 1 health tank there. Sacks the command copter because it's best if he sacked it and redeployed something else next turn. Maybe also eye for something expensive to deploy out this turn. Maybe a bomber or war tank. Actually, maybe just a duster wouldn't be half bad with the amount of battlecopters Tasha has been deploying on the field. Anti-air. Battlecopter bike. And getting down south, there's a good strike there, and on the ATR as well. Lots of good hits there. Put some rounds of the ATR, and now Tasha's at max efficiency. Does not pop a superpower, which makes sense. A little bit too early. That does merge the copter there. I actually disagree with the merge. I think she should have not merged there, so she can pull back, launch the superpower, then push forward 4 tiles with that battlecopter. Battlecopter, battlecopter, infantry, infantry, bike. Anti-air does a good hit there on the Duster. Right now, Tasha does have a slight advantage. Only has 1 battlecopter down south, and this is where the more threats are at. She could try threatening the HQ. Try to close the game, because this game is going on for quite some time. Good strike there. Got another battlecopter, Duster, bike, tank, tank. Command copter does go ahead and activate the superpower, giving all of her battlecopters +4 movement range, and the 2 health Duster, of course. Another Duster deployed on the field. Well, may just try to join them in to get the veteran seat transferred. Lots of good kills there. Does not take out that tank, does finish off. Tries to flip that property, and now the bike's pushed right forward. Does merge there to get the veteran seat on that 1 tank. Duster, bike, bike, and tank. Sacks the ATR there. Does not lose that ATR there. We got another healthy 1 push right forward. Another battlecopter forward in the field. Tank, bike, anti-air, and of course another battlecopter. Anti-air hit the anti-air. Recon does go down to the battlecopter. Duster does merge, so allow him to get the C2 Duster at full health. Finish some of this outlying units off. Yep. And quite frankly, while bombers are pretty nice, I think he should have been deploying a CO unit into the Duster a bit more often. I think, honestly, not necessarily a Zhao bomber, I think a Zhao fighter would have been better this game. Or a Zhao Duster. To be loaded up. Because right now, it is Tasha's course pulling out a good number of battlecopters to the field. So a very cheap, effective fighter could have been very useful. Making some good headways now, but still got a good number of battlecopters down south. Now got a good number of anti-airs pushing forward over here. Trying to flip the property. So far, she has not flipped any properties. Now Tasha's deployed out a good number of fighters. Does finish off that battlecopter. When I say finish off, I mean go from full health to 0. There's that unit not being cautious around the anti-air. Just trying to get as much damage done as possible. Right now, Tasha ends to 142,000. Zhao's at 89. Zhao starting to lose it, but of course, along the game goes towards the right of the map, his reinforcements arrives quicker. Natasha's going more for air focus. Great shot on her command copter, though. Her Vet 2 Duster is in range. However, if she wants to boost strike from the CO zone, it will be her command copter will be vulnerable to the battle copter. Tank, battle copter. Command copter does go down, gets good strikes on these on those tanks. Finish off that one, and on the interior. Good shot there on the Duster, of course. Battlecopter, bike. Duster stays alive, both of them. Good strike on that tank. It was on top of a road. Just because of plus doesn't mean it provides any defense. Tank, battlecopter, tank. Zhaotiantong ends the turn of 113. Tasha starts the turn of 121. Finish off those units. Guns down the battlecopter. Now it looks like that bike will be trapped there for some power charge, looks like. Takes out some of those southern units. This battlecopter is low on fuel and out of ammo. So this one just needs to fall back. Tank, battlecopter, infantry. There's a good number of those outlying units off there. All those wounded infantry units go down. Of course, now there's multiple anti-airs here, but there's only one tank. There's also a pair of tanks there, so Red has pretty much stabilized the northern flank. And Blue's southern flank's not doing too particularly good at the moment. Takes out the anti-air. Good strike there on the tank. Merge the battlecopter, command copter. It's +1 CO zone. Get a lot of good energy there at the 40 out of 60, so 2/3. Duster, tank, bike. It was a big round of anti-air by Red. Takes out a good number of those units. Go straight there on the tanks. Multiple tanks going down. Anti-air push way forward. Tank. Sacks the bike. And looks like actually I just now realized Tasha has flipped a good number of properties. This game's gone for quite some time. I'm starting to lose track of stuff and sort of lose focus, honestly. Right now is turn 35. Battlecopter, battlecopter, bike, bike, bike. Let's finish off that unit there. Takes out the capping squad. Does go and range the Duster. It is going to finish some of these outlying units off. Interrupts the capture there. Tank. Tank, battlecopter, bike. Duster does fall back there. Duster does get merged. We got now a full health max vet Duster. Tasha now has her superpower available. And we now got a Tasha Bomber. We may say APC deployed out here, or Rig. Also, and Rig would be half bad for a temporary airport on the middle of the map as well, for how Tasha's keeping her aircraft alive. Tank, infantry, and bike, no Rig. Good striking on the battle copter, and does take out the command copter, which means CO'd bomber next turn. Was that a great idea? Stopping the CO power, probably. Does go for an anti-air battle copter, so it's another 15,000 funds. Anti-air, anti-air. Duster charged way further, finish off that unit, and now got a CO'd bomber, so a +2 move range bomber, which is carrying nuclear arsenal, providing itself right now plus 70% firepower. It will likely one-shot things even at a reduced health. Bike, tank, tank. Takes out some more of those tanks there. Good hit on the tank. Finish off the infantry unit. Anti-air. Another anti-air. Another anti-air. Tasha still needs a good number of regular tanks to engage those anti-airs. Nukes the Vet 1 anti-air on planes with the bomber, so it has enough firepower to one-shot anti-airs on planes. I want to beginning next round, I'm going to just take time to see what can nuke. Duster falling in back, another Duster deployed in the field. This Duster's up down to 14 fuel. I think there needs to be a rig. It is worth spending a 5,000 fund rig to save a, was it 1,100 Duster? Yeah, I can just take a quick look. Finish off that unit there. Duster's at 1,300, so even more expensive. Tank, battlecopter, infantry, tank. Because right now the Duster is now down to 9 fuel. It needs a rig. 3 fuel. It consumes 5 fuel per turn, right? So it will get blown up from out of fuel. What? It can one-shot on top of a city? Granted, cities in this game only provides 2 stars of efficiency, but does also have max vest, so it's plus 40% efficiency. 103 damage. It doesn't have to even use the luck roll of that. Tasha bombers are nasty. Like I said, they drop nukes. Yep, looks like that duster will go down. Bit of a waste. Tasha's bomber does take a bit of damage there, but does also retaliate for quite some damage. But Tasha's bomber may have just overextended. Pretty good at counterattack down south. The value still staying pretty even. Yep, that thing did get shot down. Like I said, it would have been a good investment to go for a rig, because rigs are 5,000, that's a 13,000. That's good hits there. Finish off some outlying units. Tasha's now at 460. Bomber at 6. Velosa just needs to be 7 health or one-shot tanks on planes. Tank, battlecopter, tank. Good strike there on the light tank. Good hits there. You have some of these outlying units. Another 8 here. Tank. Good strike there on the command copter. Multiple good hits there. Bomb pushes forward and takes out the anti-air. Great shot there. This Duster's also somewhat running low on fuel, it's at 36 fuel. Another bomber deployed on the field. Bomber here is also pretty low on 1 minute to the left, so an APC would be useful, or rig. I think deploying off temporary airport will also help out with the just a little bit of resupply and fuel and ammo. Goes a long way. Here's also some of those outlying units. Ray's doing a great job in this flank. Duster deployed in the field. Mage can't seal the Duster because the CO unit's still on the field. Tasha may just pop her CO power this turn. Does pop it. We should at least give him +10/+10. Gets a good shot there, finish off the tank. One thing she could do as well. Worth. Hits the one shot, rolls the high luck roll. Now that Duster, oh, it won't be able to do that again next turn because it won't have the support of the CO power, but still. It's also not going to have enough fuel to get back home, will it? Command copter still at 1 health, 3% health remaining. don't shoot it down. Let it just do its thing. So it is actually partially in the way for getting out of that base. Does put a good round under the battle copter. Probably should not have built anything there. Another bomb push right forward. I think this is a point in time where I think Zhaotiantong is going to lose the game, but he is commanded by PeePeePooPoo, who doesn't surrender. So I think at this point in time the game has been determined, and it's just a matter of just letting it play. Tank now deployed. And here gets a good shot on Duster, who's effectively already doomed due to a lack of fuel. And since the game will probably go on for a little bit longer, I'm just going to take a quick restroom break, because I need to. One more, please. My apologies, I am back. Getting some decent hits there on these aircraft, putting some good rounds into them. But right now, it's probably a good idea for Blue to start trying to eye for the HQ. There's only one base here he can just needs to overrun. There is a shore or a full sea tile here, so you can't move diagonally. You can't move diagonally. So the only thing that can traverse a sea tile is the aircraft. So I'm thinking maybe T-Copter, load up an infantry unit, and try making your way toward the HQ just to close out the game. This bomber is at full health, so can start one-shotting some of these anti-airs and has a good number of ground support tanks to take on the other anti-air. Maybe put the bomber right here, strike this anti-air, so these tanks can double hit this one, but this course still the third one that will cause some issues. Or just nuke the one on top of the base, because it has enough firepower to do that. And those the other anti-airs are out of range. Battlecopter. Right now, Tasha is also taking time to capture up some various properties. Does a good strike there, finish off that unit. I just realized something. If Tasha grabs the harbor, the seaport, can deploy a battleship there to lock down the base. Not necessarily that's a good idea, but it's something that she can do. Looks like that's for a missile. Is she going to seal the missile? Note the seal unit's still in the field. somewhat hard to see it with the only 1 or 0 CO zone radius. Got these bikes prepared for. They could take time to capture some of these properties or go straight for the HQ. I recommend HQ. Let's go for our T-copter. Possibly. Yeah, a carrier could. But yeah. You know, I'm really so sort of surprised Tasha's not deployed our rig. Temporary report would have been quite nice, but at this point in time, yeah, her CO unit's actually getting pretty low. We're starting to run low on fuel and ammo. There's got a bit of a wall of anti-air there. A little more CO power charge, and she can deploy out her superpower. And I think as well, I don't think 2 anti-airs is enough to take out the bomber. I think it does like 4 damage, and there's only enough surface area for. Never mind. Surface area for 2 anti-airs. But again, her taking 4 points of damage would reduce her defense, so perhaps 2 ATs would be enough? I cannot tell you. Now to have another missile on the field, and now that battlecopter is in range of the bomber, and here comes the superpower. Just needs a little more damage there. Oh, there's the APC. No superpower this turn, looks like. They also give the T-copter +4 movement range. Looks like the bomb's going to try to meet up with the APC. Not a bad idea, or rig, I should say. Pop superpower, gets resupplied there. Gets a one shot on the battlecopter, very nice. Yep, the transport copter should be able to get the infantry in range of the HQ. Does get on top of there. So yeah, next turn that bike should just get off and start capturing up with the infantry unit. Alright, there's nothing much more I can say. This game's gone on for far too long. It's so far. This game's gone on for 1 hour 38 seconds. On a Advance Wars game. Or replay. I'm just exhausted. Oh, next turn, I think it could be either Annihilation or a Capture Victory. Not sure what he's going to go for. I would just say just Capture HQ and just be done with the game. Well, there's no Annihilation, because the anti-tanks, of course, very good, and Capture HQ, and that's the end of the game. This is Anchorage saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.